What up everybody? Let's talk about some crazy stupid supers in the Street Fighter series. So I was on everyone's favorite website, X or Twitter or whatever the hell you want to call it, and I just stumbled upon this tweet where Masterino was talking about the 4 horsemen of supers in the Street Fighter series. And like many of you, as soon as I saw those 4 pictures, it just invoked all these bad memories of having to deal with these moves for many years. And I just thought to myself, there's actually a couple I wanted to add that were just as stupid, if not even more broken, that actually had to get patched out in later releases. So before I get into that, I don't have a single issue with any of these 4 supers being mentioned here. The reason these 4 supers, so Rose's Satellite from Street Fighter 4, Rashid's Super 2, Elena's Healing, and Yun's Ganajin, any super that, changes the meta of the game and you have to play your opponent's game is going to be a powerful super right off the bat. And to the fact that these are so overtuned to favor their character, they're just so frustrating to deal with. So I have no issues with this list, but let me add 2 more. Alright, so both examples involve Street Fighter 4 and they're going to involve 2 different characters. The first one is everyone's favorite naked bald man, Seth. And most people know his Ultra as, an Ultra that goes full screen, it does decent damage, but the main reason you want to do it is if your opponent throws out a fireball, this is going to go through fireballs. And it actually had really good range. As you can see, Ryu's full screen, and I can do this on reaction. If I know a fireball's coming, I mash out this Ultra and he's getting hit. Full screen, it's still an incredibly powerful Ultra. But would you believe me if I told you this was even stupider than this? But the reason this was so broken in vanilla Street Fighter 4, so the very first version of this game, is for some reason the developers thought it was a good idea to let you do the Ultra when the fireball is still on the screen. So in any other version, Super, Arcade Edition, A 2012, Ultra, whatever, if there's a fireball on the screen, Seth cannot do this Ultra. And then the 2 reasons this was so powerful is that if you're in a fireball war with someone, you can wait until they throw out a fireball and then you do your own. But this was also an impressive move for people without fireballs, and I'm going to show you why. So the other thing that made this super so powerful is, let's just say your opponent tried to jump over your fireball. Guess what? This is a full screen anti-air as well. And in this game, if people just started playing from Street Fighter 5 or Street Fighter 6, fireballs did chip damage no matter what. So if you blocked it, you were losing some health. So there's tons of times people are going to try to, neutral jump this or try to get over it. And guess what? They're going to get clipped. This was such an oppressive super because as soon as Seth got his Ultra 1, you just knew half the cast was eliminated. So in my opinion, this definitely needs to be on the 4 horsemen of stupid supers because these poor characters never stood a chance. Then the second character, I gotta talk about Bison from Street Fighter 4. So a lot of people in this game, they had what we call anti-fireball ultras. So Bison's in Ultra Street Fighter 4 look like this. He'd have to do down, back, his regular motion. And this would jump over a fireball and then you'd be happy because, you get all this space control and then you're on your way. And you would be surprised. A ton of these ultras had crazy range. As you can see, Sagat is full screen again. If I get the read, I can go full screen and get him. The one trade-off is Bison is a charge character, so if I'm moving forward, Sagat knows I can't do that Ultra, so he's more comfortable to throw out his fireballs then. But let me tell you, it gets a little stupider than this. Because you see in Super Street Fighter 4, a lot of charge characters got buffs, especially Bison and Guile. They got much better. But the reason I'm mentioning Bison here is that some sick twisted mind at Capcom thought it was a good idea to make his Ultra 2 double quarter circle forward. It's no longer a charge, you actually do a double quarter circle forward. And I know to a lot of people that play the newer Street Fighter games where everything seems to be a double quarter circle into an Ultra or a Super, but trust me, in Street Fighter 4, this was huge for a charge character and incredibly stupid. And of course the reason this was so powerful is now it gives Bison a way to move forward and still keep his momentum going. Now you can move forward and still get the Ultra off, as you can see over here. This was not possible before, and it just made him a nightmare to deal with. And yes, that was a cheesy pun and all his nightmare moves. But I just wanted to show that these supers are so crazy cheap, like Bison's Ultra 2 and Seth's Ultra 2, they actually had to change them. So in Bison's later versions, this was no longer a charge motion, a quarter circle motion, and Seth's Ultra was no longer able to do with a special move on the screen. So it just goes to show, thankfully, we do have things like updates now that can change, broken things, but these supers were crazy obnoxious. Hope you liked the video. I'll catch you on the next one.